Can you smell what the RENDOG is a-cookin'? Greetings, cyberdogs and citizens of the internet. This is RENDOG coming at you from an abandoned mineshaft in this Let's Play Minecraft Survival series. In the previous episode, we were looting this mineshaft of all of its sweet-ass loots, and I was telling you a story about how I treated my Afrikaans teacher really badly this one time at school. In this episode, my friends, we're going to continue on our looting adventure. I'm going to finish off my story about my Afrikaans teacher, and I'm going to start telling you guys about the demise of Gareth and that freaking butthole space gang. Sit back and relax, my friends. I hope you got a crunchy-ass beverage and a tasty-ass snack. And I hope you are sitting comfortably under a duvet, in a bed, on a couch. Who knows where you are, man. I hope you are comfortable, and I hope you are ready to play some Minecraft survival. Well, my friends, I wish I could tell you that it smells like tasty-ass steaks around here, but that would be a freaking lie. Mostly, I've been cooking some iron and some gold up in here, and in the meantime, while I've been waiting for all of that to happen, guys, I've been exploring a little bit around this area. I sort of strip mined in that direction and strip mined in this direction, and we've actually busted into a sweet-ass cave system down there, which is where we're going to be going in this episode, guys. But before we do that, let's take a quick squiz at my inventory right now, man. As you can see, it is looking pretty freaking awesome. I just chomped away on that one bit of chicken that we had in our inventory. One of you guys mentioned in the comments section of the previous episode, RENDOG, eat that freaking chicken, man. It has taken up a whole slot in your inventory. But more importantly, guys, we've made 23 blocks of iron. I've picked up 52 gold ingots, which is excellent. And we've also got a stack and a little bit of lapis lazuli, which we're going to need for some enchanting action when we get back to the molehole, man. And I'm really liking how my inventory is looking right now. There's a ridiculous ton of food up in here. I did cook some steaks, but I got to tell you, man, they are covered in soot and ash and bits of freaking iron right now. So they are not going to be the tastiest steaks on earth. But you know what, man? When you are in an abandoned mineshaft playing Minecraft survival, you're going to chow any steak that comes across your freaking path, man. Any bit of barbecued meat, no matter how freaking infested with irons, is going to be delicious. And guys, as you can see, we have busted into a sweet-ass little cave network over here, and I haven't started exploring this yet, and I'm super excited, man, because you know what, guys? There's one thing that we have not found yet on this particular adventure, and that is freaking diamonds. We have been really, really unlucky, actually. Although a couple of you cyberdogs mentioned in the comment section of the last two videos that I may have missed a couple of diamonds on our adventure. And if that is the case, well, I gotta tell you, man, that's kind of normal for me. I pretty much miss diamonds all the freaking time. Throughout this series, especially in Season 1, man, I've been known to throw diamonds into lava. Let me just put it that way, man. Diamonds and me are, you know, I love diamonds, man. Diamonds are a freaking Minecrafter's best friend, but not RENDOG'S best friend. I'm pretty bad with handling diamonds and keeping them. I usually lose those things for some reason. Well, not for some reason, it's because I'm a freaking noob. But as you can see, guys, our inventory is absolutely jam-packed right now. I'm kind of tempted to get rid of some of this food, like this stack of carrots. I think I'm going to get rid of the stack of carrots. And the next time we go adventuring, hopefully I would have learned my lesson to not bring so much freaking food with, man. I do it every single time, though, and I never actually learn. We actually still need a space in our inventory for a compass. I was thinking about this when I was strip mining earlier today, and we still need to get home. I mean, we've got a nice amount of sweet loot in our inventory right now, but we need to get all of this jazz back to the molehole without dying. I mean, that's going to be a task in and of itself. I'm not entirely sure whether or not I'm capable of such a venture back, but I think I've survived enough adventures in my Minecraft career to, with kind of certainty, say that I think we're going to get back to the molehole. I don't want to jinx it, though, because the last time I spoke about dying, I died in a freaking ocean temple. So I'm going to just leave it at that, man. And there is a ridiculous amount of mobbage coming our way. There's an army of undead coming this way. Take it. Bam. I need to hit that freaking scalar butt, man. Long distance snipe. Bam. Headshot. Take it, zombie butt. Sweet. Oh man, check out this cave network. This is absolutely epic. There's gotta be some diamonds in here, man. Seriously. We've got to find some diamonds today, guys. If we do not find diamonds today, this will be the first adventure I think that we've ever gone on that we've not found diamonds. Well, an adventure that we've survived and got home to tell the tale, at least. We've obviously failed on quite a few adventures without finding any freaking diamonds at all. But I'm pretty keen to make sure that this is not one of those freaking adventures. And I don't know, but my freaking diamond radar is starting to twingle right now, man. When I see lava like this, it makes me think that there's probably diamonds around here. Come on, baby. Show me your bling blings. I don't see any freaking diamonds down here, man. But you know what I'm going to do? I think I'm just going to sort of dig around the circumference of this thing. It looks like there's a little path that we could get to over there. Actually, what am I doing, man? I could just quench this lava. Bucket of welder, man. Minecraft is best friend. Oh, man. There we go, guys. Let's just keep our eyeballs peeled, my friends. I am looking as hard as I can for some diamonds. You know, sometimes diamonds spawn next to redstone. They sort of spawn in patches next to redstone patches. Let's have a look here, man. We've got some iron that has spawned over here too, so there might be some diamond action under here. Diamonds! Show your freaking selves! Oh, man. No diamonds. Oh, but there's lapis, though. You know, at the moment, I think lapis is probably as valuable for us as diamonds. We used all of our lapis in the construction of the Cyberdog monument, so the more lapis that I can collect, the better, actually. Especially considering we've pretty much mined out all of the lapis near the mole hole. The more freaking lapis that I can find in new chunkage, the better. You know what I'm saying? Let's have a look here, man. It doesn't look like there's any diamonds up in here either. I'm just going to clear this lava and have a quick squiz up in this area over here. Oh, this looks like it loops all the way back there too. And what is going on over here? I see some light up here. Oh, is this... Have we been here already? Oh, there has got to be diamonds down here. My diamond radar is going cray-cray. Anyway, guys, I'm going to continue to explore this sweet-ass freaking cave network. And let's talk a little bit more about the story that I started at the end of... Well, throughout the last episode, I was telling you guys about a story when I acted like a complete butthole in Afrikaans class, and I started imitating my Afrikaans teacher behind her back while she was teaching, and then I drew a picture of her, and I made her face into the face of a pig. And it wasn't a proud moment for me. As I was explaining in the previous episode, in fact, it affected me so badly that after class, I went alone to the changing rooms underneath the Afrikaans class, and I sat there with the intention to write a letter to my Afrikaans teacher, which is exactly what I did. Now, this particular changing room that I'm talking about was kind of like an unused changing room. It was the changing room that was used when the school had tennis matches. And the school we didn't really play that much tennis at school. We had like 3 or 4 tennis courts. But when there was like a tennis... Like, we used to have these tennis tournaments against schools near our area. And when there was a tennis tournament, that's where we would go to get changed and whatnot. And this change room had a massive area in it that was like basically like a giant shower room. And there was about 12 shower heads or so inside of this shower room. And it was basically... BAM! It was basically a really flat surface of concrete, and in the shower room were these concrete benches that I guess, yeah, you could put your clothes on or you could put your towel on while you were having a shower, but it was a really, really flat surface, which was awesome. But it was also a very, very peaceful place when you were alone inside of this moist, damp, murky changing room that was in my school. You know, it was hardly ever cleaned, I think, because hardly anyone ever used it. It had that sort of damp smell to it. You know, when water's been in a place for too long, you get that sort of musty-ass odor going on. And there is an emerald, so sweet. So this place was kind of... It was just unused by people in my school, and this is why I guess I went down there. I wanted to escape the... I guess I was trying to get away from the guilt that I was feeling, and I was trying to find... Whoa, that was basically almost death right there, man. How many times have I died like that in this series? It's quite ridiculous. I need to be more careful. But yeah, I went to that changing room to escape, I guess, my own demons that I'd created in that Afrikaans class. And I sat there on that cold-ass concrete bench probably for, I don't know, half an hour, 40 minutes or so, thinking about what I could do to sort of try and take back, I guess, my behavior in the Afrikaans classroom the previous day. And what I did was I wrote a letter to my teacher, and it was a sincere letter, and it was a letter that I wrote with my very first pen, actually. I had very recently got my pen license at school, and when you were given a pen license at school, you were also given like a ballpoint pen. And something in my 10-year-old brain thought that if I wrote this letter with my new ballpoint pen, it would kind of mean more. You know, it would kind of have a little bit more. Oh, there's a diamond, so sweet. Oh man, finally found some diamonds. But I thought if I wrote this letter with my ballpoint pen, that it would, I don't know, it would resonate more perhaps, or it would have a little bit more meaning, I guess, to my teacher, and probably more importantly to my own consciousness, I guess. And there I sat writing this letter in my exam pad to my teacher, and man, I've been trying to remember what I actually wrote, so I could tell you guys. I've been sitting on the tubes trying to remember exactly the words that I wrote. But you know what, guys? It was so long ago, man. I can't remember what I wrote. But what I can remember is that it was from the heart. Because I truly was sorry for what I had done. And I sat there and I wrote that letter. And what I do remember is that it was basically a whole page long. My handwriting was probably absolutely massive, considering that, yeah, I was 10 and I sort of just learned to write cursive and stuff, and I probably couldn't write very, very well. But we actually need to make a little bit more space up in here, guys, for this lapis. Let's get rid of a stack of arrows. Yeah, we can get rid of a stack of arrows. Man, this has been a nice, lucrative little bit of cave action up in here, man. Let's see how many diamonds are actually in this little patch here. Sweet! Oh, man, this makes me so happy! So yeah, I finished off this letter inside of this danky ass changing rooms. But the awesome thing about these changing rooms is that they would eventually become what I can only describe as a war room. It eventually became the place where the Silkworm gang would go and hang out when we weren't at the fort. And we used to go and spin our tops in this room because the concrete floor of the shower room was just so perfect for top spinning. You know, it was completely flat. They didn't have any bumps in it. It was 100% perfect for spinning tops. It was just an absolutely magical freaking thing, man. And maybe what I should do here... Oh, we've got a little bit of space over here, man. I'm trying to find a space for diamonds. There we go. Sweet. Right, we only managed to pick up 2 diamonds, though. But this giant-ass cavern seems to travel in all freaking directions, man. This is a massive cavern. Let's head in this direction over here. I saw a huge ravine over here. There's got to be some diamonds in here too. So yeah, guys, this particular changing room would eventually become an extremely important part of the Silkworm gang's victory over the freaking Space Gang. But I'm going to reserve that story for another episode, guys, because today I want to carry on the story about my Afrikaans teacher. I finished writing that letter, and I went home, and man, you know when you've done something wrong, and it doesn't matter if you're a kid or an adult, when you've done something wrong and you know that it was wrong, and it just sticks in your brain for so freaking long, and the only time that you will be able to get that out of your brain is when you do the reparations required. Maybe you need to say sorry to someone, maybe you need to, I don't know, it could be anything. You know what I'm saying, right, Batty? You've done some bad things in your cute little life, haven't you? But I remember going home and just being consumed by the guilt that I was feeling, man. And man, I just couldn't wait to get back into Afrikaans class so that I could give the letter to my mevrou, and hopefully she would forgive me. And mevrou means miss in Afrikaans, or missus, I guess. In England, I think you guys call your teachers miss and mister. And in America, I'm not sure what you guys call your teachers. Ma'am? Ma'am and sir? I'm not sure. Let me know in the comment section below. Actually, I'm quite curious to know what you call your teachers at school. But guys, I was so freaking keen and anxious to get back to Afrikaans class so that I could say sorry to mevrou and give her this letter that I'd worked so hard on. And I remember waking up the next day, and man, it was one of those days where I actually couldn't wait to get to school, man. You know, most of the times I didn't really want to go to school, other than if I was hanging out with the freaking Silkworm gang, then it was sweet. But most of the time, you know, most kids don't want to go to school, man. I wanted to stay home and play my freaking Sega Genesis. But I remember going back to school the next day, and I was so nervous, guys. Oh man, I was freaking out. You know, I didn't know how to do it, man. Like, how was I supposed to give this letter to my teacher? Would I have to wait till after class? Would I have to maybe go to the staff room and knock on the door and give it to her then? I didn't know what to do, man. I didn't know exactly how I could give this letter to her. And Afrikaans class came around, and I still hadn't given the letter to her, and I still hadn't said anything to her. And I remember going into the class and sitting down at my desk, and Mevrou came into the class, and I could just feel that the disappointment that she had for me was still there, man. It was tangible, you know. I could feel something had changed between us, you know, the relationship between us. Like, I'd actually been quite a good student in Afrikaans, and because I come from an Afrikaans background, my mum was Afrikaans and my grandparents were Afrikaans. I spoke Afrikaans really well, so I was kind of like a star student in her class. I always did really well, and you know, when she used to write her reports for me, they were always like, he's doing a great job in Afrikaans, he's doing really, really well. You know, she used to give me gold stars and stuff, which I guess is probably why I was the guilt was even harder, because I'd been such a good student, and then this one day I'd just become a butthole, man. Anyway, I sat down in my class, and the class progressed, and the class started, and I could just feel like something was different. And oh man, it just sucked so much. And as the minutes went by and the class carried on, things didn't seem to get any better. And I remember putting my hand up to answer a question, and usually Mevrou would choose me to answer, because if the rest of the class couldn't get the answer, you know, she would always sort of revert to me and let me answer, because she knew that I could get the right answer. And this time she didn't let me answer, and she just carried on and let someone else answer. And I just knew that something was wrong, that I had broken something, you know. I had broken something in the relationship between myself and her. And eventually it just became too much for me, man. I just couldn't take it no more. And I got up from my desk, which was at the back of the class, and I walked all the way to the front of the class, past the Silkworm gang, past Gareth and his butthole space gang, and I walked straight up to Mevrou, who was sitting at her desk. And I looked her in the eye, and I said, "Ek wil jammer sê vir wat ek gister in jou klas gedoen het." Which means, I want to say sorry for what I did in your class yesterday. And I said it kind of softly, because I didn't want Gareth and his freaking space butts to hear me. And I remember something changed in her face. I was looking her straight in the eye, and a look sort of came over her of, I guess, forgiveness. Maybe more surprise that I had actually done this. But things seemed to, I don't know, fix themselves in that moment, just between me and her. And she took the letter from me, and she said, "Dankie my kind. Nou gaan terug na jou plek, ek sal jou briefietjie later lees." Which basically means, "Thank you my child. Now go back to your place, I'll read your letter later." And that was all I really needed to hear. And in that moment, I don't know, something just repaired itself between myself and Mevrou. Things went back to normal. Things went back to how they were before. And when I put my hand up to answer questions in her class, once again, Mevrou would let me answer. And I feel like that day, I may have learned something. I think I may have learned something that stuck. You know, sometimes I think in life, we do things and we learn lessons that we don't realize how much they resonate in the rest of our lives. And I think that particular moment and that particular incident in Afrikaans class with Mevrou maybe was one of the things that aligned my moral compass. And it was one of the incidents in my life that I think made me realize how important it is to treat other people well. And mostly what it made me realize, I think, and maybe at that stage because I was so young, but I think it helped to build empathy inside of my soul. And I think empathy is a really important and really difficult to learn aspect of human nature, right? Because what empathy allows you to do is allows you to realize that you have no idea what might be happening in somebody's life. And if you are terrible to that person and they're going through a really hard moment in their life at that very particular time, you may do even more damage than you actually think you are doing. And even though you may be angry and maybe in a place where you just want to hurt that person, or you just want to insult them, or you just want to damage them as much as you can, empathy allows you to realize that the effects that you may have on that person may be far outreaching than just what you think in that moment. And I like to think that that particular moment in Afrikaans class, in that particular incident in Afrikaans class, made me a better person. And when I think about it now, I'm actually really proud of how I acted and the actions that I took. And I could have very easily just done nothing. But something inside of me implored me to take action, and I did. And I'm so glad that I did now. Because I'm sitting here playing Minecraft telling you guys about that story. And if that particular story didn't mean anything to me, then I wouldn't have remembered it, and we wouldn't have been talking about it right now. And that, my friends, is freaking awesome.